I woke to the sound of church bells. For several seconds, I could not breathe. I knew that ceiling. I knew the pale morning light slipping through the curtains. I knew the navy suit hanging beside the mirror. No, I whispered. My hands shook as I grabbed my phone. June 14th. My wedding day. A day I had already lived. A sharp pain crossed my chest as memories flooded back. Charlotte running away. Me chasing her across New York. Olivia whispering into her ear year after year. 5 years of arguments, apologies, suspicion, and promises that never lasted. Then came the final night. Charlotte had screamed, "Why do you always blame Olivia?" Because she has been standing inside our relationship since before our wedding. She's my best friend. And I'm your husband. I remembered leaving our apartment furious. Rain covered the windshield. Headlights appeared from nowhere. Then darkness. Yet I was here. Alive. A knock hit the door. "Ethan," Daniel called. "You awake?" I opened it. Daniel stood there in his tuxedo, holding 2 coffees. He frowned. "You look terrible. What time is it?" 8:15. I stared at him. He raised an eyebrow. "You do remember you're getting married today?" I almost laughed. Instead, I stepped aside. Daniel entered and placed the coffees down. "Nervous?" "You could say that." "Cold feet?" "No." That was the strangest part. I was not nervous. I was terrified because I knew exactly what came next. Daniel adjusted his tie. "Charlotte texted me last night." She sounded excited. "Did Olivia stay with her?" "Yeah." "What?" My stomach tightened. In my first life, Olivia had spent the morning convincing Charlotte that marriage meant surrendering her freedom. I had learned that truth years later. Charlotte had told me during one of our worst arguments. "Olivia only asked whether I was sure. She told you to leave." She was protecting me. From what? Charlotte had never answered. Daniel waved a hand before my face. "Ethan, I'm listening." "No, you're somewhere else." I walked toward the window. Below us, workers decorated the church entrance with white roses. In my first life, I had chosen every flower myself because Charlotte loved white roses. After she disappeared, I had driven around Manhattan calling her more than 40 times. When I finally found her at a hotel, I had begged, "Please come back. I need space, Ethan. We have 200 people waiting." That's exactly the problem. Everyone expects something from me. I'm not everyone. I love you. She had looked toward Olivia before answering. That should have told me everything. Daniel touched my shoulder. "Talk to me." Before I could answer, my phone vibrated. My blood turned cold. "Charlotte." I opened the message. "I need time. Don't follow me." Every word was identical. Daniel leaned closer. "What happened?" I handed him the phone. His face changed. "What the hell does that mean?" "I know what it means." "You know?" "She's leaving." "Leaving where?" "The wedding." Daniel stared at me. "Call her." "No." "Ethan, maybe she's panicking." "She is." "Then call her." I shook my head. He grabbed his phone. "I'll call Sophia." "No." "Then what do you want me to do?" "Nothing." He looked at me as if I had lost my mind. "Your bride just told you not to follow her." "I can read." "And you're standing here." The first whisper reached me 20 minutes after Charlotte vanished. "Where's the bride?" I stood near the church office while Daniel watched guests fill the pews. "Ethan," he said quietly, "people are asking questions." "Let them." He frowned. "You're seriously calm." "I'm not calm." "You look calm." "I already know panic won't bring her back." My phone rang again. "Sophia." I answered. "Ethan." "Thank God," she said. "Charlotte isn't answering me." "I know." "Have you called her?" "No." "What do you mean, no?" "She asked me not to follow her." Sophia lowered her voice. "She's scared. Olivia got inside her head this morning." Of course she had. Nothing had changed. "Where is Olivia?" "I don't know. She disappeared after Charlotte left." I almost laughed. I knew where Olivia had been in my first life. She had driven Charlotte to a Manhattan hotel, sat beside her, and promised that my desperation would prove my love. "Ethan, please," Sophia said. "Find my sister." "No." Silence. "What?" "I'm staying here. She's your fiancée. And today was supposed to be our wedding. That's why you should go." "No, Sophia. That's why she should come back." Daniel looked at me carefully. Sophia sighed. "You don't sound like yourself." Maybe I finally sounded like myself. "I'll call you later." I ended the call. Daniel crossed his arms. "Want to explain?" "There's nothing to explain. You were ready to marry Charlotte an hour ago." I still was. "Then why aren't you looking for her?" I looked toward the sanctuary. Someone laughed nervously outside. A child ran between the pews. 200 guests were waiting while my bride tested whether I loved her enough to chase her. Daniel, if someone wants to marry me, I shouldn't have to drag her toward the altar. He stared at me. That's cold. No, begging would be worse. My phone vibrated. Olivia. I answered this time. Ethan, she cried. Have you found Charlotte? Her performance was perfect. No. Where are you? At the church. You're still there? I heard the surprise she failed to hide. Yes. You need to find her. Why? Because she needs you. She knows where I am. Olivia paused. Ethan, this isn't the time to be stubborn. I agree. Then go after her. No. Another pause. What if she thinks you don't care? She told me not to follow her. Women sometimes say things when they're emotional. Then Charlotte can correct herself when she's ready. Olivia's voice hardened. You might lose her. I looked at my wedding ring. Then that will be her decision. I ended the call. Daniel whistled softly. What? I've known you 12 years. You've never spoken to Olivia like that. I should have. An hour passed. Pastor William delayed the ceremony. Guests began leaving their seats. My mother cried quietly in another room. My father stayed with her. Then Sophia called again. I found Charlotte. My chest tightened despite everything. Is she safe? Yes. Good. That's all. What else? She's at the Langford Hotel. Exactly where she had been before. She's waiting for you, Sophia said. I'm not coming. Ethan. She left me at our wedding. She thinks you'll prove you love her. By chasing her? Sophia went silent. I continued. If she needs humiliation to measure my love, we shouldn't marry today. She's starting to panic. Then tell her the truth. What truth? That I'm still standing exactly where she left me. I hung up. Daniel sat beside me. You knew she'd be at that hotel, didn't you? I looked at him. How could I? That's what I'm asking. Before I could answer, the office door opened. Olivia stepped inside. Her blonde hair was slightly messy, and she had removed the flowers from her bridesmaid dress. Can we talk privately? Daniel looked at me. I'll be outside. When he left, Olivia closed the door. I'm sorry. For what? For Charlotte. You didn't make her leave, did you? Her eyes shifted. No. The lie came easily. She's confused, Olivia continued. She's always been afraid of losing herself. And you told her marriage would do that. Olivia froze. Who told you? I smiled faintly. So you did. I was helping my best friend think clearly. On her wedding morning? She had doubts. You gave those doubts a voice. Olivia stepped closer. You deserve someone certain about you. There was something different in her tone. Something I had been too desperate to notice in my first life. She reached for my hand. I looked down at her fingers touching mine. Charlotte doesn't deserve someone as loyal as you, she whispered. I slowly pulled my hand away. Her expression changed. Olivia, where is Charlotte? I don't know. You do. She looked toward the door. She wanted space. And you wanted me to chase her. I wanted you to prove something. To Charlotte. Olivia said nothing. My stomach turned. Pieces from my first life suddenly connected. Every argument Olivia encouraged. Every private conversation. Every time she told Charlotte I was controlling, bored. I did not sleep after Olivia left the church office. I sat alone with my phone in my hand and replayed 5 years of memories from my first life. Every argument suddenly looked different. Charlotte once came home after dinner with Olivia and asked, "Do you think I gave up too much by marrying you?" Another time, after spending an afternoon with Olivia, she said, "Maybe you only support my career because you want control." I had always asked the same question. Where is this coming from? Charlotte never answered honestly. Now I knew. Daniel entered and closed the door. You look worse. I'm remembering things. About Charlotte? About Olivia. He sat across from me. What things? Every major fight Charlotte and I ever had started after she talked to Olivia. Daniel frowned. Ever. Almost everyone. You think Olivia planned that? I think I was too busy defending myself to notice who kept handing Charlotte the accusations. A knock interrupted us. Emma Collins stepped inside. Charlotte's cousin had been helping Sophia manage the confused guests. Can I speak with you? Daniel stood. I'll give you 2 a minute. No, Emma said. You should hear this too. I looked at her. What happened? She hesitated. I heard Olivia talking to you earlier. How much? Enough. Emma folded her arms. I should have said something years ago. My stomach tightened. About Olivia? Yes. What? Emma looked uncomfortable. She talks about you. Daniel leaned forward. What does that mean? She has for years. Whenever Charlotte complained about Ethan, Olivia acted supportive. But later she'd say things like, Charlotte doesn't understand how lucky she is. I stared at her. Emma continued. Once she told me that if she had a man like you, she'd never make you question whether you were wanted. Why didn't you tell Charlotte? I tried. And she laughed. She said Olivia was just being dramatic. I stood and walked toward the window. So I wasn't imagining it. No, Emma said. But I never thought Olivia would sabotage the wedding. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. Ethan Parker? Yes. My name is Ryan Mitchell. The name struck something in my memory. Olivia's former boyfriend. What do you want? I heard what happened today. How? New York has phones. I almost ended the call. Then he said, if Olivia is involved, you should know something. I stopped. What? I dated her for 18 months. I know. Do you know why we broke up? No. Because of you. The room went silent. I put the phone on speaker. Ryan continued. At first, I thought you were just some guy she respected because you were dating her best friend. What did she say? She compared everything. I gripped the desk. My job wasn't stable enough. You were ambitious. I forgot anniversaries. You remembered Charlotte's. I didn't listen. You did. Daniel muttered, damn. Ryan laughed bitterly. The worst was when she said, Charlotte doesn't even appreciate what she has. I asked whether she wanted her friend's boyfriend. What did she say? She slapped me. Emma covered her mouth. Ryan continued. 2 weeks later, we were done. When was this? 3 years ago. 3 years. Suddenly, I remembered their vacations, late-night calls, and whispered conversations that stopped whenever I entered a room. I had thought Olivia was protecting Charlotte because they had grown up together. In my first life, I even thanked her for helping us through difficult moments. The memory made me feel sick. I had welcomed the person poisoning my marriage and called her family. Long before my wedding. Why tell me now? Because I spent years thinking I was jealous. Maybe I was. But if she just destroyed your wedding, I wasn't wrong. I closed my eyes. Thank you. After the call ended, Daniel stared at me. So Olivia loves you. I don't know if I'd call it love. Emma nodded. Possession isn't love. My phone rang again. Sophia. I answered. Ethan, Charlotte left the hotel. Where is she going? The church. My pulse changed. Why? Because she finally realized you're not coming. I looked toward the sanctuary. What did she expect? Sophia sighed. Olivia told her you'd chase her before noon. There it was. Confirmation. Is Charlotte alone? Charlotte stared at Olivia as if she had become a stranger. What did you just say? Olivia stepped away from me. Charlotte, listen. I heard you. Her wedding dress appeared beneath her open coat. The sight should have filled me with relief. In my first life, it had. Now I felt tired. Charlotte walked closer. You told Ethan to choose you? I was emotional. You told me to leave. I told you to think. You said if Ethan loved me, he would chase me. Olivia glanced at me. I was trying to help. Charlotte laughed bitterly. Help me do what? Destroy my wedding. Your doubts existed before today. Because you kept feeding them. Olivia's face hardened. That isn't fair, isn't it? Charlotte stepped closer. How long? What? How long have you wanted him? Olivia said nothing. Charlotte's voice broke. Answer me. Feelings aren't actions. You tried to take my fiancé. You abandoned him. The words hit Charlotte hard. She turned toward me. Ethan. I remained silent. Her anger disappeared immediately. I came back. I can see that. I made a mistake. Olivia whispered, Charlotte. Shut up. I had never heard Charlotte speak to her that way. Charlotte approached me carefully. Can we talk alone? Anything you need to say can be said here. Her eyes filled with tears. Please. I remembered another Charlotte crying in a Manhattan hotel. In my first life, I had held her hands. I understand you're scared. What if I'm making a mistake? Then we'll figure it out together. I had believed love could survive anything if I worked hard enough. 5 years proved otherwise. Charlotte touched my sleeve. I panicked. I know. Olivia made marriage sound like a prison. Olivia interrupted. I never said that. Charlotte spun around. You said I would lose myself. I said you should be certain. You told me Ethan would chase me if his love was real. Olivia crossed her arms. And apparently I was wrong. Charlotte looked back at me. Can we still do this? I stared at her. What? The wedding. Olivia's mouth opened. Charlotte ignored her. Most people are probably still nearby. Pastor William is here. My dress is here. You're here. I'm here. So marry me. My chest tightened. In my first life, Those words would have been everything I wanted. Now memories answered before I could. I remembered Charlotte locking herself in our bedroom after Olivia told her I was controlling. I remembered sleeping on the couch after Olivia convinced her my promotion meant I cared more about work. I remembered canceled vacations, broken promises, and arguments where Olivia's opinions somehow mattered more than mine. Then I remembered the rain, the headlights, death. Ethan. Charlotte squeezed my arm. Please say something. I looked at her. Why did you leave? I told you. I was scared. Why didn't you talk to me? I wasn't thinking. You were thinking enough to go to a hotel. She lowered her eyes. I expected you to come. There it was. Why? Because you always come. My heart went still. She did not understand how painful those words were. You wanted me to chase you. I needed to know you'd fight for us. We were minutes from getting married. I know. What more proof did you need? Charlotte began crying. I made a stupid decision. Yes. So let me fix it. Some decisions change what comes afterward. She shook her head. No. We love each other. Love doesn't make this healthy. Olivia suddenly laughed. Both of us looked at her. This is ridiculous. Charlotte glared at her. Stay out of this. You're blaming me because Ethan is angry. You manipulated me. And Ethan manipulated me. I stared at her. What? Olivia pointed toward me. He knew how I felt. No, I didn't. You encouraged me. When? Just now. You let me talk. Charlotte looked at me. Ethan. Before I could answer, another voice came from behind us. That's a lie. Emma entered with Daniel beside her. Olivia stiffened. Emma walked forward. I heard your conversation earlier. You were spying? I was checking on Ethan. Emma looked at Charlotte. Olivia approached him. Ethan rejected her. Charlotte's expression crumbled. Olivia shook her head. You don't understand. I understand perfectly, Emma replied. You've spent years pretending your jealousy was concern. Charlotte stared at Olivia. Years? Emma nodded. I tried warning you. Charlotte's lips trembled. She turned back. 6 months after the wedding that never happened, I stood on the 42nd floor of an unfinished tower and watched Manhattan wake beneath me. Michael handed me a hard hat. You're smiling. I smile sometimes. Not like this. I put on the helmet. Maybe I finally have something worth smiling about. My father looked across the construction site. You always had things worth smiling about, Ethan. You were just too busy keeping everyone else comfortable to notice. That sentence stayed with me. In my first life, I had rejected this project. Michael had offered me the same position 3 weeks after my wedding. Charlotte had worried that the long hours would hurt our marriage. So I stayed home. This time, I had said yes before he finished explaining the offer. Daniel walked toward us carrying coffee. Morning, future property king. Don't start. I'm serious. 6 months ago, you looked like someone had canceled your entire life. Someone canceled my wedding. Same difference. Michael laughed and walked toward the engineers. Daniel handed me coffee. You know what's strange? What? You're lighter. I lost 10 pounds. Emotionally lighter, idiot. I smiled. I stopped trying to control things I can't control. Charlotte included. Daniel studied me. She called me yesterday. My smile faded slightly. Why? She asked whether you're seeing Emma. I looked toward the temporary office where Emma was reviewing contracts. And what did you say? That it's none of my business. Good answer. So you're not. No. Daniel raised an eyebrow. Nothing. She's my friend. A very attractive friend. Daniel. I'm only observing. Emma opened the office door. If you two are discussing me, at least make it interesting. Daniel grinned. I was telling Ethan you're terrifying. Smart man. She handed me a folder. The city approved the revised agreement. That fast. I'm excellent. I'm starting to believe you. Starting. She pretended to look offended. Daniel whispered. Definitely nothing happening. I elbowed him. Emma laughed and returned inside. Our friendship was easy. That mattered. Emma never asked me to prove anything. She never treated my failed wedding like gossip. When I wanted silence, she allowed silence. When I wanted to talk, she listened. A week later, we were working late when she asked, Do you ever miss Charlotte? I stopped reading. Yes. Emma seemed surprised. You expected another answer? Most men would lie. I loved her for years. That doesn't disappear because she hurt me. Do you want her back? No. Emma nodded. That answer came quickly. Missing someone and trusting them are different things. Fair. I looked at her. What about you? What about me? Why haven't you asked what happened with Olivia? Because I already know enough. That's simple. Yes. She closed her laptop. You survived something painful. I don't need every ugly detail to respect you. I smiled. Thank you. Several days later, Sophia called. I almost ignored it. Then I answered. Hello. Ethan. Is everything okay? With me? Yes. And Charlotte? Silence. I sighed. Sophia. I know. You don't want updates. I don't need them. She finally cut Olivia off. That's probably healthy. Olivia keeps trying to contact her. That's between them. Sophia paused. Charlotte is starting to understand. Understand what? That Olivia influenced her, but didn't control her. I leaned against my desk. What changed? I stopped letting her blame Olivia for everything. I said nothing. Sophia continued. I told her Olivia gave terrible advice, but Charlotte still chose to leave. That couldn't have been easy. She hated hearing it. Truth usually hurts before it helps. She knows that now. After we ended the call, I stared at the skyline. In my first life, I would have rushed to Charlotte after hearing she was struggling. This time, I returned to work. 2 months later, Ryan contacted Daniel with old messages from Olivia. Daniel showed them to me over lunch. One message read, "Make Charlotte question whether Ethan actually respects her ambitions." Another said, "If they fight, she'll eventually realize he isn't right for her." Daniel looked disgusted. You could destroy Olivia with these. No. She tried destroying your relationship. Nearly 1 year after our wedding failed, I returned to the church where it had ended. Charlotte stood beside the empty altar. For a moment, neither of us spoke. You came, she said. You asked me to. I wasn't sure you would. I said I would. Her eyes dropped. You always kept your word. I almost smiled at the irony. She touched the altar rail. I've wanted to ask you something for months. Ask. Charlotte looked directly at me. Why didn't you come after me? I knew that question. In my first life, I had answered it with actions. I had driven across Manhattan, called everyone we knew, found her hotel, and begged her to return. This time, I asked, why should I have? Her face tightened. Because we were getting married. That was exactly why you shouldn't have left. I was scared. You could have told me. I wasn't thinking clearly. You were thinking clearly enough to test me. She looked away. That sounds horrible. It was horrible. I thought you would come. I know. How? Because you expected me to prove something. Charlotte wiped her eyes. Olivia said if you truly loved me, you wouldn't let me go. And you believed her. She was my best friend. I was supposed to be your husband. I know that now. I stepped closer to the altar. Charlotte, love isn't a game where one person runs away and waits to see how desperately the other follows. I understand. Do you? Yes. Because I spent years proving I loved you before that morning. I know. I changed plans for you. I supported your career. I stayed when things were difficult. I proposed. I stood at this altar. Her tears returned. I know. Then why wasn't any of that enough? She covered her face. Because Olivia made me afraid. No. She looked up. No. She encouraged your fear. She didn't create every choice you made. Charlotte stared at me. I continued. Olivia didn't take your phone and send that message. She didn't force you into a car. She didn't lock you inside that hotel. I know. You left. Yes. The side door opened. Sophia entered. Charlotte frowned. Why are you here? I asked her, I said. Charlotte looked at me. I thought we might need someone who remembers that morning without rewriting it. Sophia approached slowly. I'm not here to attack you. I warned you. Charlotte went silent. Sophia continued. That morning, before you left, I told you not to do it. You told me I should calm down. I told you Ethan had already proven himself. Charlotte looked at the floor. Sophia's voice softened. You said Olivia believed leaving would show whether Ethan would fight for you. I remember. I told you love wasn't something you should test by hurting someone. Charlotte began crying again. I remember. Then stop pretending you had no choice. I'm not pretending anymore. Sophia nodded. Good. Charlotte turned toward me. Was it Olivia? What? Was her confession why you stopped loving me? I shook my head. No. Her expression changed. Then what was it? You leaving. One mistake erased everything? No. One decision showed me something I had refused to see. What? That whenever someone made you doubt us, I became responsible for proving us again. She whispered, I could change. Maybe you have. I have. I believe you. Hope appeared in her eyes. Then maybe we could start again. Charlotte, I forgive you. She stepped toward me. Then let me fix this. I forgive you, but I'm not coming back. Her face fell. Why? Because forgiveness doesn't rebuild trust automatically. I'll earn it. I don't want you spending your life earning something from me. But I still love you. I know. Do you still love me? I hesitated. Yes. She inhaled sharply. Then why are we doing this? Because love isn't always enough. She shook her head. That sounds like an excuse. It's something I learned painfully. Ethan, please. We could start slowly. 2 years later, I stood outside the same church and fixed my tie. Daniel appeared beside me. You look nervous. I'm not the one getting married. That never stopped you before. I laughed. 2 years ago, I had stood inside this building with a wedding ring in my pocket and a bride who had disappeared. I thought those doors marked the end of my future. Now they looked ordinary. Maybe healing made painful places ordinary again. Daniel nudged me. You're thinking too much. It's your wedding. I'm allowed one emotional moment. One. Don't push it. He grinned. A black car stopped near the entrance. My father stepped out and waved. Michael had changed too. His hair was grayer, and retirement had finally become real. Ready? Daniel sighed. Everyone keeps asking me that. Because running away seems to be a tradition here. I stared at my father. Too soon. Michael asked. It's been 2 years. So I'm safe. Barely. Michael turned to me. Monday's board meeting is yours. You're actually retiring? I've said it 12 times. You've canceled it 11 times. This one is real. Daniel asked. What finally convinced you? Michael pointed at me. He stopped needing me. I shook my head. That sounds harsher than you meant. It's a compliment. My phone buzzed. Emma, where are you? Outside. Her reply came instantly. Turn around. I did. Emma stood near the steps in blue. You clean up well? I said. So do you. Daniel cleared his throat loudly. We're standing here. I noticed, Emma replied. I'm going inside before this becomes interesting. Daniel followed him. Emma watched them leave. They're subtle. Painfully. She smiled. Are you okay being here? I looked at the church. Yeah. Really? Really? She studied me. You used to avoid this street. I used to avoid a lot of things. And now I own a development company that keeps sending me into buildings more stressful than this one. She laughed. I worked hard, but I also slept. I visited Michael. I traveled. I learned how to enjoy quiet weekends without feeling guilty. Emma had remained beside me through all of it. Once, we almost kissed. Neither of us mentioned it afterward. I liked that nothing between us needed to be forced. Emma touched my sleeve. I'll save you a seat. Go ahead. I'll be there. She looked behind me. Her expression changed slightly. I knew before turning. Charlotte stood across the courtyard. I can stay, Emma said. I'm okay. You sure? Yes. She squeezed my arm and entered the church. Charlotte approached slowly. Hi, Ethan. Hi. She looked different. Calmer. Her hair was shorter, her eyes calm. You look well, I said. So do you. Are you here for Daniel? He invited Sophia, and she asked me to come. I'm glad you did. Charlotte smiled faintly. I wasn't sure I should. It's his wedding, not mine. I know. We stood quietly. Then she said, I heard about your company. Good things, hopefully. Mostly. I smiled. How are you? Better. I heard you moved. Boston. Do you like it? I chose it myself. I nodded. Good. She looked toward the church doors. I haven't spoken to Olivia in almost 2 years. I heard she left New York. California. Do you miss her? Charlotte thought before answering. I miss who I believed she was. I understand. She sent me an apology. Did you answer? Yes. What did you say? That I forgive her, but I don't want the friendship back. I smiled slightly. That sounds familiar. Charlotte laughed softly. I learned from someone stubborn. Expensive lesson. Very. Church bells rang. Guests began moving